following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Wednesday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company here from the Star in Frisco as we continue to break down Cowboys camp as it makes the transition here to the Star. Glad you're with us alongside Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeomans. It is a beautiful day outside after the rain has now subsided seemingly for a little bit.
You guys brought the cool temperatures with you as well.
Thank you.
I don't know how we could have brought the rain. It definitely didn't rain in 27 days.
Did not.
But hey, I'll take credit for the cooler temps.
Honestly, I'm so thankful for that, just based off of the fact that, I mean, you go from 75, and then we went to Denver, and we were outside in 95, and that was a transition. And then going back to the 75, and then now you're coming back here. I was ready for 100-degree heat. I was drinking. I was doing the liquid IVs. I had the the electrolytes.
He offered me some.
I was trying to really get ready for it because I thought I was gonna.
Pretty sure I would have got drug
faint.
tested. I'm appreciative of the rain because my plants are loving it right now. My plants got their butts kicked this.
I can
this
tell.
Year.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
You got your banana tree.
Got my banana tree in the back. It's loving it. It drinks a lot of water.
There's a joke there, and I'm not going for it. I'm gonna leave it. And that's hard for me. That's hard for me. It's hard for me, and I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch it.
The joke is the fact
I'm not
that
the only
there
one
is
that
a
has.
joke.
I'm not the only one around here who has a banana tree. I know somebody out there listening that has a banana tree in their backyard. It's growing like crazy right now because
Over
of
under
water.
3 people reply to the show or comment to you that they have a banana tree. Over under. Under for sure.
Over.
No doubt.
I'll put it out there.
Oh, 3?
3.
A lot of people listen to this show. I'll go over.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Over under banana tree.
Do it.
I mean,
comments.
he just jumped out with that much confidence.
That was out of the cake.
So
Right there.
Let's go.
Rob's ready to jump out of the cake today.
Takes 4 people. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Find 4 Talkin Cowboys listeners that have a banana tree. If you have a banana tree or have had a banana tree,
Take a picture of it, though. Don't just say.
yeah,
Take a picture of it,
take a
send it
picture.
in, tag myself, tag the rest of the fellas in here. We need to know that you have a banana tree. I don't have a lot of patience, Heckma, so banana tree is a perfect plant for me because it grows rapidly and you can see it develop every single week.
Can you show the listeners on your camera what a banana tree
Abso-freaking-lutely.
looks like? Because some may have one and not actually know. if
They know.
The size
First
of that
thing,
thing.
Isaiah, turn
no,
your camera
never
to me,
mind.
please.
Oh, gotcha. Here we go. Sorry, somebody was sitting.
Get your
That's
get
my
your studio right.
That's
There
my
you go.
banana tree right there.
my God.
Yeah, it's going crazy.
how
it started off with 1 and now it's
Feed me,
about
Seymour.
7 of them. So I have to cut it and plant it and pot it.
So how fast did it grow to that?
So I started off with, here, let me put the picture back up here.
Yeah.
I started off with 1, this little bird, there you go. I started off with 1, it had about 3 leaves on it, and it's now, that was about 4 months ago. So now it has about 7 pups, right? So there's about 6 others around it. So 7 total trees, and I have to go cut it and plant them and share the wealth. So I'm asking all my boys if they have room.
Luckily, you don't have any neighbors because they would be calling.
Why?
To say, what
It's a
kind of tree is
homeowners
that?
association.
No, I like privacy, heck. Who's that peeking in my window? I'm sure my Rottweilers would keep them away.
For all of the listeners
that's
out
not a
there,
problem.
all of the listeners that don't get to watch this show or don't watch
yeah,
this
that's
show,
true. Yeah.
I just want to give you a quick rundown of what this tree looks like. You ever watch the old Power Ranger movies where there's like multiple Power Rangers and then they all combine
Come together?
for one?
Yes.
It looks like the combined Power
Yes,
Ranger. It's
absolutely.
just massive and it's wide and it's got all these different branches and arms
Awesome.
and there's so much going on.
What is
and
the
then there's
name of
this
that thing?
one big thing.
It's actually called an ice cream banana tree.
Oh,
Ice cream banana tree. I bought it off a website. They dropped it off at my front door. I installed it all in the back this summer. I was excited.
You Amazoned a tree?
No, they didn't Amazon it. I don't know. I don't want to say it because they're not a sponsor. But I ordered it online and they dropped it off and it was awesome. And I installed all my landscaping.
So fancy. He fancy.
He just
as that.
primed a tree.
Hold on a second. How do you install
No.
a tree? You dig a hole, you drop it in, and there you
Exactly.
He downloaded
You
the
planted
update.
it. Well, they sent it to your house. You didn't have to go to a nursery beamer. I didn't have to go to a nursery. I looked online. You can shop plants online now, and they literally drop them off at your front door.
You can buy one in full bloom on Amazon for $139.99. You can buy the seeds for $11.99 and do what they did.
I'll sell it to y'all right now for $119.
Seeds.
No seeds. No seeds. I didn't have to fermentate nothing. Nope. Nope. I went straight to the source. They gave me one little stem. I put it in the ground. Voila, magic.
How did we get to this? But I'm so intrigued.
I am intrigued too. I'm excited.
Amazon, Rob's going to end up with a banana tree.
No,
in his
I'll give you the
backyard.
website. I'll give you the website. Don't use that one.
Okay.
He has bananas.
I don't have room anyway.
Unless Amazon wants to start paying me.
Ice cream banana.
That might be,
Banana shade.
Oh my God.
I got you, Heck.
No, don't have me.
I've already given you a tree. I've given you one tree. It just wasn't a banana tree.
We are good with the tree we have.
That's
Say
true.
we're good.
First year, I gave you a tree. Hey,
No, you didn't give me. You lost
earned
the
it.
bet.
You earned it. You earned it. You won the tree. But I will gift you this one.
No, dog. This is. I'm sorry.
I forgot about the
Don't leave me hanging,
Christmas tree,
Twitter.
man. Was that a real tree or a fake tree?
It was
It was a real tree.
It was a real Christmas
Yeah, I
tree.
sent you a real tree.
It was massive.
It was, yeah.
No, that's what he did. Hey, just to be. Yeah, he sent me the biggest tree he could find, and I'm like, come on, dog. I mean,
Y'all had known each other for like 3 months.
I don't
at a
have
time.
cheek anything, okay? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all the way out there.
Hey, the
one
tree
time in
was-
person.
Pin it at the top of the. The ceiling was. Could he put a star? He had to put a hanger on it. He couldn't put a star.
It was the damn Griswold tree.
it was. And the Amazon driver just kept going back to the truck. Like, hell, I got another piece. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to split this conversation
All right,
in half.
sorry.
I'm chopping it down. Rob, let's do some news and notes for the Cowboys.
Smooth transition. Let's go. Yeah, football.
No banana trees in practice yesterday, thank goodness. Maybe tonight whenever they're back on the field. But what did you see from last night's practice and any developments?
Well, first of all, I just want to say the Torpedo nickname is the fans approve.
Wow.
The comments we've gotten have been like, that is fire.
It's already on a T-shirt.
Let's get the patent ready. Yes.
The torpedo.
Torpedo was out there last night. Cowboys practice in pads. They're going to practice in pads again tonight. Another night practice. And Mike McCarthy kind of reiterated the plan. If the starters get the quality work that they want, they get enough snaps in there, don't expect the starters again on Friday night. It's going to be more young guys competing for roster spots. But in the meantime, a bunch of guys are coming back into practice, getting healthy. Will Greer, if he can manage this groin injury, we're probably going to see a lot of him on Friday night. CeeDee Lamb was back into practice. Noah Brown was back into practice. Jaron Kearse was back. Tyler Smith did not practice with what sounds like a minor ankle injury, so nothing to worry about, but they're going to obviously be smart with him. We'll see what happens the rest of the week with his status.
Well, let's go.
Well, Let's Go was back. Another good one. That was a little surprising, actually. Because
Yeah, I mean, you basically made it seem like Let's Go was a no-go for the rest of the season. I mean, you're showing scar tissue and all kind of stuff in here, and then all of a sudden,
let me show the people.
And
For the
he
people that are
muscled
watching.
right back. Any opportunity to come on, go ahead.
For the people that are watching, you got me, Beamer. Look at this. I'm gonna show y'all.
Show the people.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. Right. Y'all see this scar right here? Y'all see it? There it is. I got one big scar right here, and I had 2 holes right here, another one in the back. I've had what he's had 3 times, so I'm very familiar with it. And Bill Jones did a great job bringing it up on the broadcast last night, live practice. Why are you seeing him at practice right now? Well, they kind of have to make a decision by Tuesday in terms of whether or not they're going to put him on PUP, IR, or whether he's going to be accessible. So they need to know he's been sitting out for a while.
like, can he just strap it up and do it?
Can you strap it up? Can you handle this level of physicality with your shoulder? They need to find out. So that's why they had him in practice yesterday and today. And we'll find out what the result of that is by Tuesday.
So I'm thinking swing tackle, shoulder injury. I think that's a vital joint that you're gonna need,
Especially on the left side.
And
Especially
based
at
off,
tackle.
especially
at offensive tackle.
Yeah, and I think based off of what you've told me about your injury, that it pops out whenever it wants to.
It's pretty fragile, and it gets more fragile the more frequent it pops out. The less stable it is.
So
it's a sucky injury for him at his position, especially with it being his left shoulder and him playing on the left side.
Right.
It's rough. So he looked like he got through most of practice yesterday, but
Played well, actually, through it, I thought.
getting some left tackle backup reps out there, mostly left tackle.
It's tough, dude. He's I can tell you what, I know it didn't feel good. So kudos to him fighting through it, because I know the feeling all too well.
When you had the subluxation, did they tell you will have to get surgery eventually on it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Because that was the word out in Oxnard, was it's a matter of when for him.
Yeah, when I first sustained mine was in the first preseason game or first two, something like that. And they pretty much told me, hey, listen, can you play with this? If you could play with this, you could play with it, but it's going to hurt. Right, it's going to suck all year long. It's going to get weaker. It's going to be something that you're going to have to deal with, or we can put you on IR and you can have surgery and knock it out right now. But you're going to have surgery. Yeah. So to your point, it's not a matter of if he's going to have it. It's just when.
If he can get through this season, maybe. So if part of it,
and if he can get through these first two padded practices, which that was a real practice. That was by far the toughest practice they've had all year long. I think from what we've seen, for sure.
Now, something you said there kind of threw up a red flag for me, and that was the fact you said it's going to get weaker. Whenever they were talking to you about the same injury and the way that it kind of deteriorates as the season goes along. Yeah. When you're at offensive tackle, sure, he came out here yesterday. It was his first padded practice. He was back after a little bit of time off, and he was able to practice well.
Grit it out.
And grit it out. But if it gets weaker... Yeah. Are we talking about if he has to come in for Tyron Smith in week 5 and has to go from week 5 to week 9 as your left tackle or right tackle, depending on which one he ends up filling in at? Is he going to be worse in week 9 than he is in week 5? Are we going to see him deteriorate as the season goes along?
It sucks. I don't want to speak for him. I can only speak from my own example, right? So I don't want to put anything on, well, let's go. He's kudos to him gritting it out and trying to get through practice and show that he's capable and willing to go out there and give it his all. But just knowing at least what I dealt with, whether his is to the severity of that I had, I'm not sure, right? That's Britt Brown and those guys' job. But in terms of what I sustained, every time it came out, every time I was in a compromising position, if I went to go close my door, to get in my car and close my door, sometimes it would slip out. It would slip out in my sleep. It would slip out if I threw my hands up to go grab go receive a ball, and it would pop out, and it would hurt like all get out, and then it just feels weak, and it's just like there's nothing there. You've compromised the nerves. So you're getting these shooting pains now. You don't have the strength, and it takes a couple of days to kind of let that come back in. You're doing all the stability work that you possibly can, and then you're showing up to the game, and you're like, strap this thing down, let's go.
I remember in the locker room, you had this huge harness that you would strap in. I think maybe duct tape, too. You had just everything to try to hold that thing in place.
Hold it in place, man.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
He's got the duct tape, and it's got like little prints on it. And
it hurts. It freaking hurts. And I consider myself to be a tough, SOB. But that 2 years in a row with that, not only does it physically hurt, but mentally it kills your confidence.
And I'll be honest, coming from North Dakota, I didn't expect him to necessarily be the swing tackle this year anyway, but he gives them options, at least if he can get out there. And, right now it's Josh Ball getting 1 million reps in practice in the games.
And I've got a Battlegrounds coming out on this today specifically, but it does either way. It puts clarity on what the swing tackle position is.
How secure they feel.
It gives you two things here. One, they think so highly of Matt Waletzko that and what he had done prior to the injury that hey, maybe we try and get you back, and if you're ready to go, you're the swing tackle. That's option one. The most likely is probably option two, where they wanted to see if he's good to go, and if he's not good to go. Josh Ball hasn't been cutting it. Is there an outside option here? Is that something that you're reading into this as well? I mean, it's between the lines a little bit, but ultimately it says we're not totally comfortable with what's at the swing tackle spot. Because if Josh Ball would have come out here and won this job, Heckma, it wouldn't have been, Matt, well, let's go. Let's get you back in here, put on a brace, and let's go. It would have been like, let's get some surgery, let's get you right, and then we'll bring you back later on.
I mean, the thing that gives me the mystery meat situation is, we came into the season knowing that we had a swing tackle problem. Right. After we let go of Leo Collins, obviously we kind of put ourselves in the mind state that, look, we're good over here on the right side, but we have to draft someone, and Waletzko coming in kind of gave everyone a sense of, okay, if Tyron goes down, maybe we can develop this guy. Ball goes through we're going to call it a red shirt, and that's never good in the NFL. But what doesn't make me feel good is knowing that William Golston is coming. Akeem Hicks is coming first week. And if you can't reach and close your door with that situation. I dare say, you may not want to be out there with Akeem Hicks in a situation like that. At some point, we all know Tyron is going to miss some games, and we are going to have a swing tackle that we can depend on. Right now, I don't think we have that confidence at a few positions right now. Maybe we're solid at others, but swing tackle, kicker, there can't be any confidence right now in those positions. So, look, whether it's Ball, and I want to allow some grace for Ball as well, because he didn't play all of last year. And these reps that he's getting, these are his first reps in 2 years that he's getting. So, the development part for Coach Philbin has to be like at DEFCON highest level, because you're going into a season where you don't have a proven swing tackle, and you can't feel good about either of those guys if you can't close this
Correct.
door.
I don't think that they. I don't think that they came into this year unprepared or even a false sense of confidence. I think that they understood that Ball was unavailable last year and that was his redshirt year, and that's who they were banking on to be that guy. And then just for an insurance policy, they were like, let's make sure we get a guy anyways, and that's what they got. Well, let's go.
Well, they felt really good about where he was and the value that he presented in the draft.
But that gave them 2 deep, 3 deep, right, in their eyes, right? But now all of a sudden, Josh Ball is not having the camp that you would like for him to have. He's not having the preseason you'd like for him to have. And your option C, well, let's go, or let's know right now, as of right now, in terms of what he's been able to do. So now your option 2 and 3 are not viable, even though you had planned to have 3 deep at that position. Now all of a sudden, you're really still relying on your number 1.
I like what Heck said, though, but yes, Josh Ball week 1, if he had to play, he hasn't played enough football.
No.
But they do. I do think they are giving him grace, and that's what I don't think he's like a bubble guy. I think he's going to make this team because I think they're going to continue to try to develop him. I heard the week of Denver, they had 2 practices in the game. He got like 160 reps in those 3 situations combined, because Tyron got banged up in the Denver practice and then he didn't play in the game. That's the kind of stuff. I mean, they just want to see growth.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me the best backup tackle that they have right now, it's Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith is their best backup tackle. The problem is they want him to focus on guard, which I totally think they should. He needs to work at that position. He didn't play that position in college. He needs to work there to win that job. But if something happened, that would make me feel the best. I mean, he's a guy that if he had transferred out of Tulsa this year, he's probably playing at a Power 5 top program in the country potentially, if he wanted to. That might be their best option in a pinch.
So Isaiah, at Washington, did you redshirt your?
Yes.
You did? Okay. So, when I look at college and pros, I think, when you go to college, you get the redshirt year to develop, right? Guys coming to the pros, the expectation is to be ready when your feet touch the ground. Yeah. If you're in a situation where you're being redshirted, that's not good.
Well, he was injuries, right? Ball?
Yes, last year.
Yeah. But he injured his ankle in practice here. It was, he didn't come in injured. It wasn't a situation like you.
He got hurt right off the bat in camp in Oxnard.
Right.
He didn't even play a preseason game.
So what I'm saying is that's not a good situation, because when you go into college, you redshirt, you have an opportunity in the spring to play yourself into condition and shape to be ready to be a part of the program. In the pros, you don't have that. So all of this talk about let's allow some grace for a guy that was drafted and he's not ready, that to me, that you got to do something. Long story short, you got to do something at that position now.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying at that position, it's so hard to find guys.
Nobody's out there.
And what they're trying to do, I think they're trying to develop that position. They draft a guy 2 years in a row in the 4th round instead of spending, paying a guy $3 million to be your backup tackle. But they may have to do that at some point.
I think we're talking about the same thing to a certain extent. I think we're on the same page, because I'm with Heckma on the fact that Josh Ball has not been ready. He's not ready. We can all see that. He's not ready to be your swing tackle against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if for some reason Tyron Smith's not available or he's out in the middle of the game. You put 75 out there, you do not feel good. But moving forward, he's a second-year player in the NFL. I mean, there's still an opportunity for him to grow and to be able to fit into that role at some point. It's just not there yet. It's not there. And I agree with Rob. they're going to push him along. They're going to continue to develop him and give him reps and let him be who he is growing-wise, so that way maybe week 13, 14, 15, if something comes around, maybe he is ready by that point. Yeah. But right now we're not seeing that, and that's where you have to go look and say, what's out there? Where can we go get it? You've got an abundance of defensive linemen that you feel really good about.
Assets.
You got assets. You've got draft capital. There's multiple ways you could go and look at it. It's not just the open market. You can go have conversations and pick up the phone and at least look through what you could do prior to that Tuesday deadline on whether or not you want to put Let's-Go on the PUP and the IR list and moving forward with that.
How often do you see people trading for backups?
Not often.
See, but this isn't a normal backup, though.
Understood.
This is a swing tackle spot that has been used 20 times over the last 2 seasons.
Facts.
20 games over the last 2 years. You've had a swing tackle start a game.
Inserted, yeah.
So it's not your normal. This isn't your normal backup position.
I'll just put Zach out there if you had to. Just play him.
No. He got hurt last time he did that.
Let's keep him.
He got hurt.
I'm more on the Tyler Smith bandwagon.
Yeah,
I think
that's a big change.
Let's let that one. Let's let Connor McGovern go to left guard, and let's let Tyler Smith work at left tackle. All right. When we come back, the kicking situation has some new developments. There's only one here. We'll talk about why that decision came down when it did and what could be the future of the kicking spot when we come back with more Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
This sweet! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is.
It's a non-fungible token. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it, they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state, based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Come watch the Cowboys practice during training camp at the Star, presented by American Airlines. Open practices, back-to-back nights at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. Of course, last night was the first night, and then tonight, Wednesday, August 24th, 6 p.m. You can come here for more info. Visit thestarinfrisco.com. It is a busy week at the Star, and tomorrow, Thursday morning, it all goes down in the Tostitos Championship Plaza. Look at that. There's a view of First Take rolling in. That's a live look right now for those of you watching this podcast. If you're not, it's a big stage. It's got a big old shade over the top. There's a big FT flag. And basically you can already hear Stephen A.'s little chuckle.
Beamer, is that LED screen waterproof?
Beamer?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it probably is. College Game Day does that a lot, where they'll put it out there and they'll have it still, and it's in the rain and in the elements.
The mobile ones are very waterproof.
Very nicely
done. I would
done.
like to see Heckma versus Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, that would be nuts.
You know what?
I would love that.
I would love that.
Oh, God.
Let me
Whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa.
That would be awesome. No, whoa. Man, what I was about to That would be awesome.
What do we have here?
Get down here
it started with the banana tree.
I get so weak in my knees, I can hardly speak. Hallelujah.
What is going on?
I
don't know what's going on.
Isaiah's ready to leave.
What is wrong with y'all, man? That would be awesome.
Hey, for those that are watching, that was Heckman's knees giving out. I don't know what happened that caused that, but
Dude, you don't even understand
Let's take a poll.
My thing for Mr. Smith. So
Yep. Yeah. Stephen A. will be here.
That would be must see because Max doesn't like fight him on the Cowboys. You know,
well, Michael does.
I think Heckman will win. I'm pretty sure Heckman will. I know Heckman will win.
Well, Heckman's got concrete points that
Absolutely.
actually make sense.
But
for being real.
it's the fact that he is going to be here in our house tomorrow.
Are you going to be out there?
No.
Oh, Heckman, please. Come on, Heck.
Man, I got I got children. I got stuff. I know.
Come on, man. They understand.
But what I'm saying is, I think it's going to be fun for all the Cowboy fans. Please show up. Please be loud. I mean, boo him. I'm sure he's going to make a grand entrance. It's going to be awesome.
He'll have a hat on.
Do you think he arrives on a horse?
Yeah,
he might.
If he arrives on a horse, oh my God!
Now they're going to make that happen. Their producers are listening right now. Get a horse. Get on a horn right now. Get a horse.
Hey, Chuck did it. Chuck did it at the Western Conference Finals.
He sure did.
Yeah.
But yeah, show up. Come watch First Take. Come argue with Stephen A. Smith. Don't wear Seattle's colors on Seattle Week like Isaiah's doing in studio at the moment because that's not great.
He's a proud representative. Y'all shouldn't expect anything less from this guy.
You got the neon hat on, bro. You're playing Seattle this
Space
week.
Needle.
Come on,
guy right here.
It's preseason.
My dude.
He's
gonna represent for his town.
speaking facts.
He's from the land.
I definitely didn't think about that, but I am Seattle through and through. I can't lie. I'm Seattle. It's in my blood.
I didn't notice when I put on this hat this morning.
Blood. I didn't.
All right, let's talk about the kickers. Brett Maher seemingly for now has won the kicking competition. Liram Hajrullahu waved yesterday prior to practice, and Mike McCarthy talked about it yesterday, Rob, about they just wanted to trust the numbers. They wanted to go with what they felt like the numbers were telling them in terms of kickoffs, in terms of what he was doing in minimal field goal work, but they just felt more comfortable with Maher. Do you feel the same?
Pretty small sample size, don't you think?
Very small.
Unless you're factoring in previous experience, which he does have almost two full seasons here in the past. So that's why I'm a little confused by it, because if that was the case, then you could have signed him in the offseason instead of signing Liram. Signing Jonathan Garibay after the draft, they gave those guys a shot. I think to some degree this move had to do with this weird 80 cut, the cut from 85 to 80. It sucks because you have one game left and you've got to figure out how to get enough guys on the field to get through the game.
Yeah.
Well, kicker's not a problem, so you can make that cut and go ahead. So it wouldn't shock me if Liram Hajrullahu or another kicker is on the practice squad sometime next week, just to have some insurance there, depending on how. I mean, if Brett Maher continues to kick well, and you're right, the kickoffs, the leg strength is what Mike mentioned. If he continues to kick well, he's got the job. But if he doesn't, they're going to make a change again because they have shown they are definitely willing to do that and figure it out.
Zaya, I got to ask you. You've been in an NFL locker room.
Okay.
When you have a kicker or kickers that have struggled and you've gone through a year where kickers have struggled, what are you saying to yourself in the locker room when you know, we don't have any faith in this guy offensively? If we get down close, we can't watch. From a scheme standpoint, 50-yard field goals become an event, 49, anything in close. What are you saying to yourself in that locker room when the kicker situation is what it is right now?
I've never been on that side. I was spoiled. So all the teams I was on had really good kickers. So I can tell you the flip side of that. The flip side, when you have confidence in a kicker to be able to make those long kicks is, you just need to get to the 40. In your head, you're like, if we get to the 40, we have points.
Automatic.
And that sense of security, I could only imagine it's just night and day, right? Versus the other side of it where you're like, crap, we got to score a touchdown every single time. Otherwise, we're going to give these guys great field position. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a flip of field position when you miss those opportunities.
Well, Maher's unique, though, in that if you get it to the 40, you probably feel good about it.
Get it to the 20, you miss.
In the past, like that has been his problem here in the past. But, he did kick well. He did kick well in New Orleans last year, limited. I think he was 16 of 18.
Yeah.
He has more experience than anybody else they've brought in. So if you're judging it off that and the leg strength, then this is probably the right decision for now.
And he was asked that question in the locker room yesterday, and his answer basically it was, what did you learn since you were last with the Cowboys? And he said, I was able to fix some things last year because most of his kicks were within 50 yards. I mean, he didn't have any long attempts for the most part. I think he had one over 50, and it was one of his 2 misses. Outside of that, he was 16 of 17 last season, and he said he found a way to fix some of the problems he had been having, to find some more consistency, which while he was here was his biggest problem. That was his biggest drawback, was he had no consistency. So does that make you feel more comfortable or less comfortable when you come to seeing what Maher could do moving forward?
Look, I'm going to be honest. All I can think of in this situation is like trying a failed relationship over again. It's like
running back.
I'm running back. I mean, before I married my pudding, I'm just saying, dude, it's just not. If you've had a failed relationship, you try to run back, it usually ends the same way. And obviously, Garibay, we tried, and maybe he was just so bad. And obviously, he was that bad. He didn't even make it out of camp. I just don't know how this is going to end well for us. And that's what makes me nervous at the kicking position. And we knew about this, again, with the swing tackle. We know about it now. Yeah. And we're trying to do this whole cycle over again. And I just hope it doesn't come back to bite us, honestly. I just don't have a lot of confidence in it.
Pudding.
I've seen it.
Pudding?
Pudding, yeah. Okay. My pudding, yeah.
Pudding need confidence in it.
Bill Cosby.
Do you have confidence in the kicking situation?
No. Absolutely.
We're going to blow right past that.
No, not at all. No confidence there. His history shows that he's capable, so I guess there's some security there. But in terms of where they're at right now, I don't think there's any player on this team that feels confident going at any point, unless you get all the way down to the 20. I think you might feel secure that you can get a chip shot, hopefully. But other than that, you feel like you have to score every time. Now, your mentality is we're trying to score every time, but there is a sense of security, like I mentioned, that if we cross this 40, we're good. At least we got 3. And that changes everything in terms of your special teams decisions. Do you have a hold up? Do you have actually call a return as Bones Fossil? Like that, it changes a lot of different aspects aside from just, all right, line it up, kick it.
I mean, and Isaiah, you know how small that margin of victory is, and that chip shot could be you winning the game by 2. I mean, NFL games.
They had some games last year.
Exactly. We saw the AFC. 1. Yes, but the AFC Championship game. Yeah. How pivotal was a kicker in that situation? Here we go into a season where we don't know.
You have a different swag when you have a heck of a kicker on your roster.
Yeah,
like your swag is different.
Evan McPherson. I mean, for Cincinnati, since when did you see at any point swagger from the Cincinnati Bengals before? I mean, Evan McPherson on that side. I know Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have their own swag, but I'm talking about from a kicking situation. That's never.
But it changes the offensive coordinator's play call. It changes your special teams coordinator play call, right? Think about if you have a Kevontae Turpin back there returning the ball. Okay, guess what? If we have to make sure that we at least hold some kind of good position, or guess what? We can afford to take some risk. We can afford to take some risks because we're in boundaries where we need 1 or 2 first downs and we can be able to score a touchdown. Or on the flip side, Kellen Moore, all of a sudden, he's on the 40-yard line, and maybe we should just run the ball. Maybe we should just run in, just try to work our way down the field and play it safe instead of taking some shots down the field and saying, hey, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we still got 3.
That's a great point.
Yeah, they went into camp hoping that Garibay was could be like a Dan Bailey. They really, because they liked his makeup and they liked his leg. Like, we watched him kick one time in the OTAs, but it was flying off his leg. Yeah. And I think it turned into like a golf swing for him out in Oxnard, where he just didn't get comfortable. They're going to keep an eye out. I mean, did you see Zerline won the Jets job?
I did see that.
So Eddie Pinero is apparently getting released. He's kicked in the league 1 year, 31 of 36.
Not bad
for his career.
Did we keep Greg the Leg in our back pocket like he would come back eventually? Did we have that hope?
I did. I thought maybe.
I think they did too.
I thought maybe if he didn't win the job. I mean, there is history here, obviously, but they'll keep a short list if this doesn't work.
All right, guys. When we come back, let's talk wide receivers. Is Jalen Tolbert ready for the big lights of the NFL, and how can he get there? When we come back with more right after this.
Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor on Talkin Cowboys. Try and put the shoulder in there. Showed off the shoulder tats. That was such a the restroom's that way.
Yeah. You see what I'm dealing with over here, Robbie?
Let me show you my scar. Oh, it hurts so bad.
I went through the league and it's just the pain.
Just put me.
It was shoulder day today.
What was it was the year in review special we did, and talking to Barry before, you were like, "Man, I did too many push-ups. My shirt's too tight." I'm just over here like, just put me to shame. Just put me to shame.
Wow. This deja blues really good.
Too
many push-ups today.
Find someone who loves you as much as Isaiah loves his shoulders. All right, Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, Chris Beam in the backup, Kyle Yeomans. Yeah, one of these days. Let's talk about
get me on it now.
Jalen Tolbert. Actually had a pretty good practice yesterday. He had a couple drops early, and then toward the later parts of practice, Isaiah, they were really throwing him the football. Felt like they were kind of force-feeding him to get him into some scenarios and some contested catches. What have you seen from him throughout camp and through this preseason that has at least given you an idea of what he could bring starting week one? Not talking about the end of the season, because you would expect a third-round pick to grow as the year goes along, but where do you think he's at entering week one?
Keep it real, Zay.
I like his routes.
Okay.
I like his routes. I like his demeanor. Catching the ball consistently hasn't necessarily been his thing to date from what we've seen. I'm not sure if that's just his brain going too fast, if he's worried about other things when it comes to at the point of contact. Not really sure, but I'm sure obviously he's going to continue to work on those things. It's been some times where we've seen as he's going into the zones to make some tough contested catches, that he kind of gets deer-eyed a little bit. And I think that's all a part of him just learning the game and learning the speed and the size and, understanding his role in the offense. But as you mentioned yesterday, they're force-feeding him. And that what they were telling him yesterday in practice was, we're going to need you, player.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep throwing this ball your way, and you're going to figure it out. Whatever you need to work through, you're going to work through it because we need you week 1. I think that they have a pretty good idea at this point in time what the availability of their receivers group is going to be at that point in time, and I think they're really going to be depending heavily on Jalen Tolbert's contributions.
It's for me. Seeing him in OTAs, him and Dak work together, I was likening it to a trust fall exercise on the goal line. If you throw that ball to a guy out there on the goal line, he has to be there. That slant route, you got to be where you need to be, or else we've seen Super Bowl, it can cancel Christmas. And Dak continuously came to him. You saw the same thing in the first preseason game. Cooper Rush is looking for him. Guys are trying to get him involved. I think the inconsistency for me catching the ball, like you just said, is one of the things that is started to worry me. He started the game last week. He dropped his first ball, but then he made up for it. He caught a few passes. And I think for a rookie, he's got to be in a sense where his nerves are there, but he hasn't seen anything yet. Wait till he sees AT&T Stadium. Sunday, it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be loud. And there's a lot being made of, well, maybe he's used to just catching from Dak, and I don't buy that either. A quarterback guy over here would know. But I think the consistency has to be there for him to kind of quiet those things. Seeing him with CeeDee Lamb, I think the distribution is going to change because the offense, once the ones are out there, the whole rhythm of the game is going to change for him. And maybe he won't be featured as much as we've seen in some of these preseason games, but he's had plenty of opportunity. And I'm not ready to say that, he's disappointed by any stretch, but I think, those drops are not, those are not a positive sign.
I think he's had a pretty good camp. I really do. I think he's had some good practices. It hasn't translated consistently to the game, like you guys just said. There's been drops. I think he had a false start in the first game. And like to y'all's point, it seemed like they were trying to force feed him in the Denver game. It was Cooper Rush to him over and over. And
7 attempts.
7 attempts, 7 targets. And I did think he was getting some separation there. He just wasn't finishing plays. I think the staff, they just want him to settle in. Just settle in. And also some of it is sideline awareness, the stuff that I'm sure he knows, but just it happened in practice, it happened in the game. Just get that extra toe, in bounds.
It's confidence, man.
Just confidence and settling into your job.
Yeah, it's confidence. But the fact that he's getting open, that's the most important thing. You could run a gazillion reps on the jugs and work on your hands. Your hands will get better when your confidence gets better. So as soon as he makes a couple plays in a real live NFL regular season game and he hears that crowd roar, all that swag, all that confidence that he had in college is going to come right back to him in the NFL. And if he's not having issues getting releases, if he's not having issues getting open in terms of running his routes, he will be just fine.
CeeDee Lamb last year had 8 drops, 9 drops. What was it? One of the two? It was one of those two numbers. At some point last year, that was the conversation, are the drops something to be concerned about for CeeDee Lamb? Last year for Jalen Tolbert at South Alabama, his final season in the Sun Belt, he had 8 drops. However, he never had more than 2 in a game. So that's at least somewhat encouraging. One of those games was against Tennessee, so SEC competition. He had 7 receptions, 143 yards, and a touchdown. That was the game that Jerry Jones said Jalen Tolbert caught my eye. He still had 2 drops in that game. He tied his season high in terms of drops. So with a team that led the league in that category last year in terms of wide receivers dropping passes, does it worry you that their rookie wide receiver now is dropping passes?
Well, it's the same thing with the offensive line, leading the league in penalties, and we come right back with we draft a guy that led college football in penalties, and so it's something that they're not worried about. They think we get him in here, we can cure it. But man, for me, even with all this talk about Jalen Tolbert, and there's a sufficient amount of pressure on him, it's on CeeDee Lamb. Let's just keep it real. Yeah. All of the pressure is going to be on him. And I think as CeeDee Lamb goes, Jalen Tolbert will as well. And we're not talking about Michael Gallup because we don't know how he's going to return. And to be honest with you, after that first week, we all may be saying, damn it, we should have did something in the offseason to get a wide receiver in here.
There's a lot of people that are already saying
that. Well, and rightfully so. But if CeeDee Lamb can't deliver, then I think the pressure is going to definitely mount up for Jalen Tolbert.
Do you think CeeDee Lamb will deliver?
Yes, because I think he has to.
I think he'll deliver.
There was some hesitation there, actually.
Well, the hesitation is I hadn't seen it, I hadn't seen him as a 1.
You're hopeful.
And that's not a strategy.
I think everybody's hopeful.
That's not a strategy. But I feel as though at a certain point you have to take the training wheels off and allow a guy that you've drafted as high as he is, and the number you've given, the lineage that comes with it, you have to give him an opportunity to be that. And so he gets the opportunity. Now, if he exceeds expectations, he had a 1,000-yard year last year. You want to best that now as the number one, but who's going to be the other guy with him until Michael Gallup gets back is the bigger question.
I totally agree. If you draft a guy in the first round, he's eventually going to be – he needs to be projected as your number one guy at some point. So I totally agree with that. I think there's pressure on Noah Brown, actually. I think because he's the longest tenured guy in this receiving core. 6 years. I know he hadn't played that much in the receiving rotation, but he's showing he's capable of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's having a hell of a camp. Oh. And so I think there's – I don't know if it's pressure. They need him to step in, though, and be the second option when this season starts. Because you're not going to have Michael Gallup week one. You're not going to have James Washington week one. Jalen Tolbert needs to be kind of that slot third option guy. Work in your running game, work in Tony Pollard, and have Noah Brown step into a role and do something he hasn't done in his career so far. They need that from their most veteran guy at that position.
Who will be your leading receiver on this team? Receptions, not even just receiver. The leading person with the most receptions on this team.
Talking about through the year?
Through the year.
CeeDee Lamb. Easy.
I think
Are you going to say Dalton Schultz?
I think so.
I think Schultz is getting 1,000 yards.
I think it'll still be CD. I think CD's going to have a monster year. And I'm also, by the way,
They both will put up numbers.
Yeah, because I had the stirring of the pot on the question, just to throw it out there. I'm not worried about Jalen Tolbert either. Yeah. I think he's going to figure it out. I think it's a rookie camp for a guy from the Sun Belt. Yeah, there's an adjustment period.
He's good, man.
Devil's advocate here, P.
Okay.
It's his turn to stir the pot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Noah Brown. Have you seen him do it?
In practice?
You've seen a sample size practice. He's made.
I take it back to the games too. Last year in the games, he did.
He has shown flashes.
Yeah,
flashes
when called upon.
Not to the level of like a Cedric Wilson.
He's got to separate.
But he's been part of the. But he does look different, and I always say don't judge too much off of these training camp practices, but he does look like a different player. Isaiah. I mean, he looks
confidence is substantially different than what we've seen in the past. He's been looked upon as a special teams guru, and now you see him walking around like, hey, I'm second man up in terms of receiver right now.
Yeah.
Isaiah, what's happening with you, man?
What you talking about?
You see all this media rising. I can see because. You're the main guy who will say, hey, it's different when you're the second and third guy. You got that two guy over there. They're scheming for you now.
Listen, and you're absolutely correct. But from what we've seen, he's not a guy out there trying to gas himself up to be a number two. Like, he's really approaching practice like, I'm the number two option behind CD. Not even Schultz. I'm the second guy that needs to get the rock. And he's carrying himself like that. He's running his routes like that. You seen him. I don't know if you saw him yesterday when they tried to jam him up at the line of scrimmage. He looked at them like, the disrespect. How dare you try to come jam me up? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not on my level. Like, the way he's carrying himself, I can see his swag is different. And that's what I'm excited about. Special teams, he's going to do that. That's easy for him. But the way he's carrying himself as a receiver in this, it appears as if he's the leader in that room.
Yeah, I mean, we're jumping cake here, but I'm just saying, like, it does look different, and I'm fascinated to see kind of if it carries, if it translates to week 1, week 2, week 3. I really am,
because it could very easily go back to what we had seen previously. It's easy to be a training camp standout and then to disappear again whenever the bright lights are on. So I'm more confident in CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert and Dalton Schultz, to throw his name into the mix too, as receivers right now, than I am with Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko, and the guys after that. I think Noah Brown's going to be okay. I'm not sold yet. I'm not. Give me to week 5, and I'll tell you what I think about Noah Brown.
Oh, I wish we had more time on this show.
Sorry.
Feed me, Stephen A.
A little longer.
We have a little longer?
Sure. Well,
Who's your number 7 receiver?
Huh?
Who's your number 7 receiver?
Why are we taking extra time to talk about the number 7
Because
receiver?
he wants to go into Simi Fehoko.
And Dennis Houston.
And Dennis Houston, because it's already the torpedo is already got the 6.
I've got like 63 guys on the team. I think they both make it. I think Malik Davis makes it. Give me Hendershot.
Oh, you're
give me
carrying 4 running backs?
Champlin. Give me 6 tight ends. Give me 6 running backs.
Rob Phillips has 0 people on defense.
He's cooking the books. See, that's what I'll tell you. The accountants there.
Rob Phillips is no longer a candidate for the general manager position for the Dallas Cowboys.
Rob forgot how the NFL roster structure works.
He should be in L.A. with the Rams.
I'll make a promise to you, Isaiah. I'll make a promise.
What you got?
On Monday.
Oh, we're going to know by Monday.
We're going to talk.
Well, they're going to, we're going to talk. We'll probably know.
When's the dates?
Tuesday is when they got to do all of it. But I'm going to start making cuts Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We're going to talk about it. Friday, Cowboys, Seahawks, 7 p.m. Central Time on CBS 11 and the Dallas Cowboys TV network and radio network. For Chris Beam, Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next time with more Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?